Multiplication and division of integers. First, let's review what are integers. So an integer is a real number with no fractional or decimal component. It can be positive, negative, or zero. So the rules for multiplying and dividing integers are same signs positive and different signs negative. So what do I mean? We're going to multiply and divide like we know how, and then we check the signs of the numbers we're multiplying and dividing to see if our final answer is going to be positive or negative. If we have a positive number divided by a positive number, or a positive number multiplied by a positive number, then our answer is positive. If we have a negative number divided by a negative number, or a negative multiplied by a negative, then our answer is positive. If we have a negative divided by a positive, or a negative multiplied by a positive, because the signs are different, our answer is negative. So positive divided by negative or positive multiplied by negative equals a negative. Let's look at some examples. So remember, same signs positive, different signs negative, right? So to work questions, we just have to multiply and divide like we know how, and then identify which sign to attach to it. Now we have negative 8 divided by 2. We're going to divide this like we know how. So it's 8 divided by 2. How many times can you get 2 out of 8? 4 times, right? Now we want to know, is it a positive 4 or a negative 4? Now we have a negative 8 here, and anytime we see a number standing by itself without a sign attached, we know that it's what? Positive. So now we have negative and a positive. So because we have different signs, it's going to be a negative 4. Alright? Example number 2 says negative 20 divided by a negative 4. So let's divide like we know how. How many times can we get 4 out of 20? 5 times. Do we have same signs or different signs? We have a negative here and a negative here. So because the signs are the same, we end up with a what? A positive 5. You know we don't need to write the positive beside it, right? The same principles apply. Same signs, positive, different signs, negative. So let's multiply like we know how. So we have 6 multiplied by 3. 6 multiplied by 3. 6 threes, 18. Right? Now do we have the same signs or different signs? We have a negative here and a negative here. Right? So because the signs are the same, we end up with a positive 18. For the next example, we have a 3 multiplied by a negative 4. Let's multiply like we know how. So 3 multiplied by 4, 3 fours, 12. Same signs or different signs? We know that this is a positive because no sign is attached to it. And then we have a negative here. So because the signs are different, we end up with a negative 12. So let's look at some more examples. So we have 15 divided by negative 3. How many times can we get 3 out of 15? 5 times, right? Because we know 3 5 15. Do we have same signs or different signs? We have a negative here and no sign is attached, so we know that it's a positive. So we have a positive here. So we have a negative and a positive, different signs. So we end up with a negative 5. So we just need to multiply and divide like we know how. So 2 multiplied by 3 would give us a what? 6. But we have a negative 2. And because the 3 doesn't have a sign attached to it, we know that it's what? Positive. So because they have different signs, we get a -6. Now let's look at this final example. It's just as simple, it just has more numbers in it. We're going to work it out like we know how, using the rules, right? So we have 3 multiplied by a -4 divided by a -2. So we know the multiplication first, right? So let's do it. So we're doing 3 multiplied by 4. And we know that 4 gives us 12. Do they have the same signs or different signs? We have a negative here. Because of don't see a sign, we know that it's positive. The signs are different, so we get a what? A -12 divided by -2. Right? Now let's go again. Divide like we know how. 12 divided by 2. How many times can we get 2 out of 12? 6 times. Do they have the same signs or different signs? So because they are both negatives, right? We're going to end up with a +6. And our final answer is 6.